Live from Twitch. So we're continuing on our sound. We got some tests in. We've got some sound coming in. Feeling pretty good about everything. So let's continue on. Remember we had this issue with running our test that the map subscriber kept throwing an exception. So we're going to sort of deal with that problem today. Let's take a look here. So what was happening is we run this init. Had something to do with this returning something funny, and this was working with the something input source. So it's definitely working here, and that's the interesting thing. So I need to figure out why that is not giving back what we need. So kind of play around with it a little bit, see if we can narrow down why this is happening. So if we run this, I think this is where, yeah, it crashes right away. So it's trying to get a mapped subscriber. It's using the instance. We knew it was not null. Or if we can just do cast any. So that'll fail as well. Something's going on here. It looks reasonable. Let's put that there. No, that won't work because we need that instantiated. Oh, that's definitely not going to work. So let's see here. Add subscriber. That's also failing. So the object creator mock guess the important thing here is we don't need we should actually, instead of call start handler. So here's kind of an interesting mix here. We can test it for real. And we're tied to the map subscriber, which is fine because we're forcing it. So if we do the real thing, kind of an interesting trade-off. Sort of injecting a dependency. So if the map subscriber implementation breaks or changes, this will break, which is probably good because we're using the static, or using the concrete implementation. So let's go with it. Actually, I'm gonna go with it. So we're gonna say var callback called. That's gonna be Boolean. Callback called true. Search is true. Callback. There we go. So that should still pass. There we go. So should not call start handler if unsubscribed. I call play handler. So we're going to do this. And we're going to set callback count, which is going to be int 0. And then we're going to go play. And then we're going to go to our sound handler. Actually, we need to make a reference to this function. Var callback void callback, and then we're going to do sound handle unsubscribe on play, and we're going to pass in this callback, and then sound handle play again. Actually, need to pause it, and then we need to play it again, and then there we go. Assert our equal, callback called is that. And we got 2, should be 1. So now we implement our unsubscribe on play, map subscriber, unsubscribe, event, play, callback. There we go. Better, more and more tests. Alright, should call pause handler. So we're going to do basically this guy here. And play pause. We're going to subscribe on pause. There's our failed test. Event pause. pass still. Got subscriber, notify, event, pause. That'll pass. There we go. Test should not call pause handler if not subscribed. This is kind of repetitive stuff here, but necessary. Make sure that we have all of our tests in place. On pause. So we put this here. Play. Pause. On pause. Welcome up as 2, ideally. Yep. So now we need to grab on pause. Okay. Test should call stop handler. It's effectively this guy. And I'm going to stop. Subscribe on stop. Add subscriber. Let's put it on the right thing. Subscribe to event stop. Callback. In fact, I kind of want to. That is public. No, this is not. Let me make this public. This public. And this public. We're always going to be going through the interface anyways. And if we ever want to override this class, we can get access to these things. So that's why I'm doing that. Map subscriber. Notify event stop. So that'll pass. Should not call stop handler if not subscribed. Okay. So it's effectively this. Play stop. Stop. Subscribe on stop. On stop. And then on stop. Okay, most of the way there. Test should call finished handler. Now this one's going to be slightly tricky because we're going to need to track the actual sound. Okay. Now, thinking through this, do our action setup basically the same thing, and the problem is this: is it has a kind of a polling mechanism, polling mechanism. So we need to figure out what we want to do about that. So we're going to subscribe to finish. Definitely going to play it. And what we're going to need to do is we need to get... We have this sound as an audio channel, which we have a handle on, which I believe is... I know for sure it's this. And we have the position. So we can actually manually set that. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can set up a subscriber to the main game loop, which I'm not a fan of, or we can just create a public function that can be called on this thing. Public function on called tick. And we can decide when this gets called. So in that case, we can, so on tick, so we have to make sure that it gets called, that actually hits finished. So let's go back to our audio channel. This one here. We have a length, position, we have a finish. So this is going to work. So what we're going to do is going to do our sound. What did we call this? No, it's just sound. Sound on finished. So this is that the returns false. Then we're going to say sound handle on tick. So thinking through this, I think that still will work. Still gonna stick with it. On tick. Still thinking. Might create an interface for this, but we'll get into that. Let me continue on. We know this is the way we want to do it. We just don't like how this API is sort of hidden, but also not abstract. So let's keep going. So now let's say finish equals true, and then we're gonna ticket assert or equal one callback back called count. And here we're going to check for this tick, it's still 0. So that does it. Maybe instead of unticking, change this to on update. There we go. I like that better. Okay. Now we're going to say subscribe on finish. Event finish. Oh, we didn't do resume. Did we? Finish. We didn't do resume. Because we don't have that event, so we're going to stay away from it. So it's just play. And so we need to write a test for it, so test should call play handler if resume is invoked. It's a typo. So we're going to go to the pause resume. This one here. So play, resume, subscribe on Zoom, resume. So we got an play was the right thing. So we need to pause, resume, pause, resume. Okay. And I'm going to go here, map subscriber, notify, event, resume, or play, as null. So that should set up better. Okay, subscribe on finish, we got that there. And then we need to just say if sound finished, now subscriber notify event finish, that has no arguments. And it did not get called. Value was 0, that equals value 1 here. We're subscribed to finish. Subscribe on finish. Playing the music. Which doesn't really matter, but okay. Sound finish returns false. We call update. 0, no, we're going to say returns true, and we call an update. And then we call notify. Okay. Let's see why that's failing. So trace, sound finished. False, false. So, is there a sound reset? Rows, calls row methods, stop, reset. How does that work? How does reset work? It's not a, okay, so it's not a macro. Okay, so we're going to mock reset. Not the right thing. Marketing. There we go. So we got that in gear. Let's turn that off. We don't need that either. Test should not call finished handler if unsubscribed. Have this return true both times. And then let's think here. We could have technically it calling multiple times. And so we'll write a method for that. We'll write a test for that. So describe on finish. Identify returns true. We call an update. Should be like that. Now we're gonna unsubscribe here, and we should still have one click counts. There we go. And we're just gonna grab this one. Event finish. Okay, and then we're going to say test should not call finished event more than once. So what we're going to do is essentially this, and it's actually exactly that. Except for we're not going to unsubscribe. We should only get one of those. And then we're going to fix this test to sort of stop and reset it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a private variable here. This is finished. False. And then if it's finished, we'll say it's finished true. And if the sound is finished and it's actually finished, we'll call it finished state. So I'm going to change all of them. So I also saw an issue with our pause and resume, so we'll fix that. So now we've got a ton of broken, but that's okay. Should call finish more than once. And not finish state. So this is why we like tests. We should only have one. There we go. So this one here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that would still pass because that was returning false the first time. So this is good. All right. What we need to do is test should not call resume if stopped, or should not resume if stopped. So what we need to do is that we can't set the position, and maybe this is just in position is read only. We can't set the position. Audio 1. Yeah, we can't actually set the position, which is kind of a bummer. So if we stop it, we should not be able to restart it. So should not be able to restart if stopped. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say sound handle play. Actually, what we can do is we can set up a listener on play. And do a callback. Okay. Let's do sound handle stop. And then sound handle resume, and play should not be called again. I should do it. This will fail. Should fail. Does not fail. So let's find out why. So we stopped it, and then we called resume as loaded and playing. That's kind of an interesting thing. Not playing. So we should probably write a test for that. So like, if we call play, let's hit resume. Play, stop, resume is loaded and playing, but it says it is playing. So the state is technically not correct. So we need to look for, so yeah, if we call pause, so test should not pause if stopped. And so we'll do this, pause, subscribe on pause. It should be 0. There we go. So we're able to call pause even though it's stopped. And if you're able to do that, then you can do all kinds of nasty things. So we don't want that. So on stop is playing is false. That'll expose this, that it was called twice. And what we can do is when we stop it, this will break some things, but that's okay. Call stop, we're going to set our sound to null before you cannot resume it. Past. So what we're going to do is if we call sound handle on update, this will crash. There we go, which we don't want. So if sound equals null and all those things. There we go. Solid, solid, solid. I'm sure we're still missing some stuff here. So what we need to do is we can, if we called resume, it'll play. So test should not resume if it is not playing. It has not been played. I'm going to call this here, and we just say stop resume. This callback count should be 0. In fact, that'll still be weird, so I have to pause it first. And there we go. So we need some states going on here. We'll call it current state string. Kill that. Current state is in fact, we're going to save on space here and use an int. Now we're going to do something kind of clever here. Is we're going to make these ints. It'll give us a little bit of a speed improvement, and it'll be safer on space, and it's still very readable, and since it's private, it's going to be safer. In fact, we can even make this public. So if anyone wants to override it, they can. So we can say state is play, state stop, playing, stopped, paused, state finished. And we're going to have an initial state, which is init. So let's do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So this current state is going to be init. Now we need to fix some of these spots where it is playing to current state is state playing. Current state. Actually, what we can do is we can make this kind of clever. We're going to create a private inline function is playing. Return a boolean, and we're going to return. For this current state is equal to state playing. There we go. And we take this out. And now we can do that. Is playing. There we go. Current state, state stopped. So we're going to get some failing tests here, but that's okay because it's a nice improvement and we can get all the tests passing again. Paused. So this one here, current state equals state playing. So now we know what the state is at all times. And finished state would be current state is not equal to states finished. State. There we go. And then current state equals state finished. Let's see if we can build. We're building. And we have only one failing test. That is great. Alright, should not resume if it has not been played. And it's this one that we're working on. So what we can do is on our resume, we're going to check to see if it is loading and is playing. We're going to want to skip that. And current state is not equal to, is equal to, not equal to state paused. So it only should resume if paused. And that should not resume if state. Is this the one we're working on? Okay, so there we go. Calling resume, it's still current state is not equal to init. I don't want that state. Sometimes this editor is too good. So is loaded and playing, so I can't resume it if it's loaded and is playing. Move this down here. So it's trying to bork. Oh, it's because we need this to be an OR. So that passes. So I think the only state we need is to resume. We need it to only not be stop. So I think if we do this, test should not resume if stopped. Which I think we cover this. So I'm going to say sound handle play sound handle stop. Okay, there we go. So, what is this? This is the on play, so we should get one of these anyways. So that is okay, because when we stop, we actually set the sound to null, so that's safe. Okay, and then when we finish, we should probably set that to null as well. So we need to say should not play if already finished. So we're going to do here. I'm going to say play sound finished returns true. So I should get at least one play callback. And then we're going to say sound handle on update. And then sound handle play. There we go, we got two calls. So what we should do, we should actually set this to sound is equal to null. And then when we get the any of these, those are safe, okay. There we have it. So the sound finishes, it'll never continue. Okay, so That's pretty much our sound handle. I think it's pretty well tested at this point. I think it has the most tests out of anything in our suite. So that's good. I really like the stability of this sound. The only thing we need to solve is this on update, and that'd be great. We can get the state. So I think this is going to be good. Alright, so let's commit this and call it a day. So git status, git commit. We'll say we finished our sound handle class. Git push origin master. Let's get our date. Git commit. I'm sorry. Git tag 2016-0406, and it's 8:36. Git push origin. There we have it. We are in business. All right, thank you guys for following along. If you have any questions, give me a message on YouTube, and I'm going to put this up on YouTube just as soon as I can, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.